If you want to continue to follow our adventure, click subscribe. So you don't miss anything, click the bell notification. The other side of this dam, they have decided to flood. You probably know by now, Houston, Texas, and south of Waco is been declared a disaster area. So they've decided to flood the other side of the dam so they don't continue to flood those areas. I found out yesterday that they're actually going to slow this down even more, meaning that they're going to flood the other side of the dam even more. As a matter of fact, when we camped on the other side of there, they said that we were going to have to move. So we came to this side. It's not a controlled campground. It's got a picnic table, fire ring. The other side's got water. Of course, they tried to discourage you to come over here. I mean, that was quite obvious, but well, I'm really glad we did. This has been mesmerizing. I have sat up all morning, delaying this video actually, so I could just sit here and watch it. Now that I've waited so long, I've decided to go ahead and make this video 3 minutes before I started this video, 3 minutes before they were supposed to shut the gates on this. I don't know if they're going to or not. It sure would be neat to capture that so you guys could see it, but I definitely intend to watch it. Now, there's the river underneath the dam. It's not at high levels or anything. It's not out of the banks. The power of this thing is absolutely incredible. Last night, we laid down. I've had my earplugs in. I can still hear the rumbling of this dam. I don't know if you can hear it now. I'm pointed away from it, my mic, so you can hear me and not the dam. But you can actually feel, it almost kind of vibrates you to sleep. You can feel the power of that water hitting the base below. This, I'm going to call it my second most favorite campground. Now, I know this is, there's just nothing to this campground other than that. The first one being the grasslands in South Dakota. The Badlands, well, it's Grasslands National, Grasslands, I don't know. It's managed by the National Forest. And of course, then you got the Badlands National Park. Well, before you get into the Badlands, there's grasslands there. It's managed by the National Forest. As a matter of fact, the National Park is inside the National Forest. I don't understand why anybody would pay to go into the National Park, $20, when you could park in the National Grasslands for free for 2 weeks. So that's what we did. I always imagined that you would be able to back your camper up to the most picturesque, beautiful scenery possible. And we've just not experienced that. We've only been to two campgrounds where it's been mesmerizing. I mean, breathtakingly mesmerizing, where you open up the door or you look through the window and you see something just absolutely breathtaking. Well, the grasslands were one. This is the other one. Now, that's not to say that I have not enjoyed all the other places I've went to. Going to the National Forest is absolutely the greatest thing ever. You're out there in nature, it's peaceful, it's quiet, but it's not breathtaking. You know, I've seen these things before, and actually after 2 years, and you see it all the time, you just kind of get used to it. Still, it takes nothing away from the experience. To have this thunderous roar all night long and waking up to it, sitting at the picnic table, drinking coffee to this has just been fantastic. I suspect that we're going to have a few more adventures where it's going to be that breathtaking, mesmerizing view. We are going to go to the North Rim Grand Canyon, and we are going to back our camper right up to the Grand Canyon. So we should be able to open up our door and that our breath be taken away just by the fear of being so close to a 9,000-foot canyon. So, or 8,000, depending on which one we're at. Then later, into the winter, we're going to come back down here to Texas. We're in Texas right now. We're going to come back down to Texas, where we should be able to park right next to the Gulf Coast, and we should be able to stay there for 2 weeks. And all up and down the east side of the Texas is free camping. Water's going to be a little bit of an issue, and that's the thing, is when you get out to these really breathtaking views, it's usually the areas that don't have a lot of resources. You know, we go on the other side of the dam, it's got water, it's got bathrooms, it's got flushing water bathrooms, it's got everything you need. But over on this side, it doesn't have anything. We went to Dismal Falls. It's in the Thomas Jefferson National Forest in Virginia or West Virginia. It kind of zigzags back and forth on what side of the state you're on. But We stayed at the campground. It was called Walnut Flats. The Walnut Flats was just a campground. I mean, it had a bathroom and a hand pump water, but about a mile away was Dismal Falls. Now, it wasn't near as powerful as this, but it was absolutely beautiful. I thoroughly enjoyed our stay there. But again, it wasn't something you could just wake up to. Now, and that's what I've always envisioned, is every campground we went to, we were going to be just in a breathtaking, open our door, yawn and drink your coffee. Another one that I really enjoyed was Wolf Gap. Now, that was in the George Washington National Forest, just north of Dismal Falls. Oh, probably, I don't know, 200 miles or so. And there, again, it was a campground. It had 9 spots. It was paved. It was really nice. It didn't have water, but it did have bathrooms. Again, very nice campground, but you had to walk, and this walk was, oh my goodness, it was terrible. It was nearly straight up. I think it was a quarter mile, but it was straight up. I don't know how to explain straight up. Carolyn and I would walk maybe 50 feet, and then we'd have to take a break. But once you got to the top, you could spend the rest of your life sitting there. Well, it doesn't look like they're going to shut the gates on this thing. I think 5 or 6 minutes past when they were supposed to shut the gates and slow this thing down. So, but that just now you get to enjoy the thunderous roar that we've enjoyed for all night long. You would think that this was going to be difficult to sleep through, but Carolyn even said, "Boy, it put me to right to sleep." It was just this hum and this vibration of the water hitting. Just can't explain it. It was absolutely fantastic. Now, the next campground that we went to, that I really enjoyed, so what is that, probably number 5, was in the Black Hills, South Dakota. That was a really pleasurable stay. And it was one of those, it wasn't so much in the morning when it was so breathtaking, but at night, there was just a dark, all you saw was the stars and the moon. There was just no light around. And they say that's going to be kind of the case in the desert states too. So I'm looking forward to full moons, huge skies with lots of stars. Thanks for watching. Click like if you like the video, and happy travels.